Hey guys, it's Kayla. Welcome back to another episode of Messy Momma Monday. Today is the day where I share part of our testimony with you. So there was a time about 4 years ago, our marriage was not exactly going great. There was a lot of hard things going on in my marriage then. And my husband wanted to leave. And he came home and told me that he wanted to leave. And I didn't want that. I didn't want that for my marriage. I didn't want that for us. And I knew then that I had to go to war for my husband. He was not himself. He was not acting like himself. Nothing was right. And so when he told me he wanted to leave, he left for 30 minutes, and I called him or texted him and said, "Come back, I don't want you to go." So he comes back, and the next day I go to the Christian bookstore and I pick up the book Love Dare. And if you don't know what that is, it's a book that was what the movie Fireproof was written on, and it is a 40-day, I think it's 40 days of love dares that you do on your spouse. But I went and bought it, and he had no idea till just like a year or two ago that I even went and got that and did this to him. We only had, I think it was $10 in our bank account, and it was $9 and some change with tax. So I spent that to get that book because it didn't matter what it was, how much it was. I was going to do this for him. I was going to do this for us. So I do the first day, and I'm a blubbering mess. And I do the second day, and I was a week pregnant at this point with our fourth child when I was doing all this and everything was falling apart. I remember on the second day, I just couldn't take it, and I went to my bedroom and I hit the floor and I said, "God, I can't do this. What do I do? Where are you? I don't know what to do, and I'm in so much pain and I hurt. God, I don't want this for our marriage. I want it to stay together. I love him." And the next thing that happened when I was doing that, I could physically feel and hear God. I felt someone wrap their arms around me and someone tell me, "It's okay, I love you." And sorry, it makes me a little emotional. But I physically felt God wrap his arms around me and hold me and tell me it's going to be okay. And he loves me, and he's here, and I'm not alone. So day 3, it was a Friday, and I do the third day. And I vaguely remember it was get something they like and a few other things, but I ended up getting him a cheesecake. He loves cheesecake, and I bought him a bouquet of roses, and I got him a card, and I wrote in it, and I printed out a picture of us, and I set it on our bed and just waited for him to come home, and he was taking forever. And he was late home that day, and I came home and he saw it, and he told me that he doesn't feel like he's deserving of being my husband, and he feels like it'd be better if he left. And he just wasn't feeling himself. And I wasn't trying to smother him. I wasn't trying to do things like that. And I hope he doesn't feel that I did that. But I was fighting a spiritual battle for him because he wasn't himself. Well, he left. He said, he asked if he could go on a drive, and he left that night. And he went on a drive. I put the other 3 kids to bed. And while he was driving, I went out in our yard. And it was in the summertime. It was August. And I went outside. It was nighttime. And for 2 hours while he was gone, I replayed the song. It's a Christian song called Do It Again. I had that on replay. And I prayed the entire 2 hours for him, just like I did the entire 3 days so far. Those 3 days that I was doing this so far, right after he wanted to go, I didn't eat. And I was pregnant. I couldn't eat. I just prayed and cried for 3 days. I wasn't hungry. I didn't eat. I couldn't eat. I had no appetite. And I just prayed. So that night when I was praying for 2 hours, I prayed specifically, Lord, let him, or it was, God, if he wants this to work and he wants us to be together, make him realize that I don't want it to end, and have him, when he gets home, ask me to marry him again. I said those exact words. I was like, Lord, please have him ask me to marry him again. That was kind of like a way for me to know that God is in this, and I'm really hearing him. So 2 hours go by, and I'm praying that, and I'm praying over him, and I'm praying all the things that I can for our family and our unborn 4th child that I'm carrying, and all the things. And he comes home, he calls me, and he says, do you want anything to eat? So he picks us up some dinner, and he sounded better when he called me than he had been over the last few days. And he comes home, and I'm still outside waiting on him. So I walk over to his truck when he pulls up, and he grabs me, and he pulls me in and gives me a hug. And then he looks at me, and he says, Kayla, will you marry me again? Obviously, I said yes. But that whole trial, that whole 3 days, I mean, we still had work to do after that. I continued doing the whole 40-day love dare on him because it was still a struggle, but I knew that the worst was over and we were going to get through this. But God showed up twice in 3 days, visibly. And I can sit here today and say that we worked it out, but it wasn't us. God worked it out for us. God was there. God was the one guiding us. How else could you explain feeling someone hold me in a hug and hearing someone say it's okay? How else would James have known to come home and ask me to marry him again? No one was home with me. I was by myself. I was outside and he was far away. I can't see how any other way but God. And God is the reason we're married today, and I 100% wouldn't change it, and I would go to war for my husband again any day. No, it's not easy, but God brought us through it. God was in it. If you're going through a tough time in your marriage, please seek God, because He can do the miraculous. We shouldn't be married today. We shouldn't be the happiest we've been in our entire marriage today. But we are, because of God. But that's part of our testimony, and God wanted me to share that with you, even though it's hard. So, don't forget to like and share and subscribe, and I will be back next Monday for another episode of Messy Momma Monday. Bye.